What's going on, guys? It's time for another ratings review for NHL 23. I should have one of these out, I think, every single day this week, as EA said they're going to be releasing ratings all week. Today we have the top 10 defenseman rating. What's kind of cool this year is they actually gave us top 10 lefty and righty. Usually it's just like top 10 defensemen in total. So we'll start off here, guys, with the left defenseman. Number one there is Roman Josi, coming off a career year. Put up so many points, I forget exactly how many. Alright, so I just checked. He had 96 to be exact, which obviously is insane for defensemen. Almost 100 points. If he played a full season, he had 2 more 2-point games, he might have hit it, which is, like I said, just unbelievable. So they have him as the best left defenseman there, 93 overall. That's a tough one. Like, 93 is such a high rating. I do think Roman Josi should probably be the highest rated defenseman. It's either him or Dmen. They do have Dmen there at number 2, also a 93. This one's tough. I feel like it's really close. I feel like I might have them both slightly lower rated at 92, just because I think Josi's defensive game could be a bit better. Also, too, Dmen didn't have like the best season ever last year. So looking at Josi here, guys, you can see send it X Factor there with in reverse, puck on a string, thunderclap wheels. This guy's 93 overall, and they didn't give him a full list of X Factors. That's insane. He also had 73 assists last year, and they didn't give him tape to tape. I don't understand that one at all. I already know from this year, he is not going to put up enough points. To make him put up more points, you have to change his zone ability to tape, and then make send it just a regular X Factor, as tape to tape kind of basically influences more passes in the game than send it does. I'm looking at all of his stats here. Speaking of passing, he's got a 93, which isn't too bad, but honestly should be higher. Also, too, they got him with 92 offensive awareness, 96 defensive awareness. Those should be flipped after the guy put up almost 100 points as a D-man. 93 endurance there, which is good to see. 88 speed there, I think, is probably fair. He's also got 92 strength here, which I saw makes him one of the top 10 strongest players in the game. I'm not so sure about that one. I'll show you guys the top 10 strength players later. So move on to Dmen, like I said, tied there with Josi. He does have a full list of X Factors. Again, I'm not so sure why they cheaped out on Josi there. Now looking at Dmen's stats, speaking of strength, 93. Only one higher than Roman Josi. No offense to Josi. I mean, I think Dmen's a lot stronger than him. But, you know, maybe EA knows something I don't know. Let's see his body checking stat, 90. I feel like that could probably be higher, again, just how big he is. 92 offensive awareness, 95 defensive awareness. That probably makes a bit more sense there for Dmen. Shot blocking, 90. Stick check there, 95. I do like, you know, Dmen's stat makeup a lot better than Josi's. I think Josi should honestly probably be an offensive defenseman. And I think they probably have him. Yeah, they have him as a two-way. I think I'd go offensive for him. Dmen is probably a two-way, which I think fits. Devin Tays here, big upgrade on him. Obviously, a big reason why the Avalanche went on that Stanley Cup winning run. 88 overall. Still can't believe Islanders traded him for a couple second-round picks. Let's see here. 88 overall, no zone ability. I think that's the highest rated player yet without his zone ability. Plus, they only gave him 2 X Factors. Elite edges, tape to tape. He's actually really good defensively. They do him as a two-way defenseman. I would give him at least 1 or 2 defensive X Factors as well. You can see 89 offensive awareness, 92 defensive awareness there, 88 speed. Like, he's a really good all-around defenseman. I know, like, analytics people absolutely love him. I don't know, this is just a weird one to me. Like, I honestly think 88 overall is pretty fair for Tays. I might even make him an 89 just to kind of close the gap. I think there being a 5 overall difference between the top 2 defensemen and number 3 is a bit much. And also, to him not having many X Factors, I also don't really agree with. After him, you have Morgan Rielly. Wow, okay, so I like Rielly a lot. I don't know if I'd have him at the 4th spot. I think Heiskanen there at 5 is technically tied with him. I would probably have 1 higher, 89. I can see Rielly there's got 4 X Factors. Again, they did Tays dirty. 91 speed, 90 D awareness, 91 offensive. They have Rielly there as a two-way defenseman as well. Pretty decent all-around stats there. Again, I definitely would have Rielly top 10 left defenseman. I don't know if I'd have him in my top 5, though. So at 5 here, you have Heiskanen again. I think should be like an 89. He's got 4 X Factors there, 90 speed. I think Heiskanen's actually pretty quick for defenseman. I may be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure. Let's see, 91 deking for defenseman is actually quite high. You can see Rielly has that as well. Obviously, I think Heiskanen is a bit more on the defensive side, but produces well enough. You can make him a two-way defenseman. 90 D awareness there, 90 offensive awareness. So yeah, I think I'd have it like 88 offensive, 92 defensive. He's got no defensive X Factors. He's got send it and tape to tape, though. And even though he's a guy, like I said, doesn't really produce a ton, at least in terms of elite defensemen. Like you can see on this list here, he finished 42nd in the league last year in defensive scoring, 36 points. I still can't believe. So he had 31 assists. I think that's literally, yeah, less than half of Josi's assists. And he gets tape to tape, but Roman Josi, who had almost 100 points, does not. Again, guys, they're just small little things that I feel like, you know, the casual player wouldn't notice, but I think there are things like when you do notice them, like how is it a thing, right? Like Heist have a lot more defensive X Factors there. Instead, he's got 2 passing ones, 2 skating ones. just weird to me. After him, Dmen there, 88 overall. Obviously, had a bit of a comeback year last year after, not the greatest season before that. Two-way defenseman there. You can see his X factors, 87 speed. Dmen being 88, I feel like it might be a tad high for me. I feel like I'd probably have him in 87. I'm sure Buffalo fans will say it's because, he's on a bad team or whatever. He should be 88. I don't know, though. I think for me, he's 87 with high elite potential. They probably have him 88 medium elite, so I guess it is very, very close. After that, number 7 there, you have Quinn Hughes, 87 overall. Quinn Hughes, obviously one of the better offensive defensemen in the game. Great playmaker. I can see they gave him send it tape to tape, elite edges. He's got 93 speed there, I believe. Yeah, speed's the second last one, so going to be one of the fastest defensemen in the game. I think there's actually a top 10 speed chart as well. Pretty low body check in 81. I do wonder if his fighting skill is kind of way too high for a guy who's never fought. Yeah. Fighting skill is 73 there, higher than Dahlin's, higher than, I think, Heiskanen 65. Let's see, is it higher than Morgan Riley? It's higher than Morgan Riley. Devin Taves, it's higher than. I'm not trying to, be a dick to Hughes here. Hedman has 75 fighting. So they're saying Quinn Hughes is almost as good a fighter as Victor Hedman, who is 6'6", I think, and 240 pounds or so. It doesn't show it, unfortunately, here. Yossi there's also 70, so... Yeah, no offense to Quinn Hughes. I really like him as a player. He's a great playmaker. I think I'm picking all these guys in a fight against him. And the fact that Hedman apparently would be a close battle, I'm not sure about that one. I'm pretty sure that stat for him literally hasn't changed since he was first added to the game back in NHL 19. So it just kind of shows me not enough attention to detail. But as I mentioned, Quinn Hughes, great playmaker. 94 passing, puck control, deking, 92 hand-eye. Usually produces really well in franchise sims, and I feel like that will definitely be the case here, especially with elite potential. He's going to grow to become even better. And now right below him, you got another Michigan defenseman there, and Zach Werenski, also 87 overall. I can see there, C&I, stick him up tape to tape. I do feel like, Werenski's got one of the best shots for D-men in the league, so I wouldn't mind seeing him with, like, the Heat Seeker one for, shots from distance. I think that makes a lot of sense for him. He's got better defensive awareness and offensive. Again, I think Werenski's more of an offensive defenseman, but... it is what it is. Overall, I'm actually pretty happy with his rating there. Now, next up, Jacob Slavin, 87 overall. I think he's underrated simply because, his game isn't like a big point producer, although he does, get a decent amount of points. I've said before, I think he's one of the best poised defensemen in the NHL, a poor man's Nick Lidstrom. He does have zone ability there with shutdown, 87 overall. Interesting, yet Devin Taves, 88, does not get one. A lot of good defensive X factors there. Defensive awareness there, 91. Offensive, 88. I would definitely boost the defensive awareness on him, as well as the poise. And the stick checking stat, too. Again, just try and make him, like, a really, solid defenseman. Discipline, too, 90. Good to see that, because he does take, like, no penalties. And then finally guy on the list here, guys, Shea Theodore at number 10, 87 overall. They're finally giving him a bit of respect. You can see he's also got his own ability, so that's so interesting how some 87s do, but 88s don't. Heat Seekers, like I said, the one I think Werenski should have. Elite Edges, C&I, Send It. I'd probably give him tape to tape as well. One of the best offensive defensemen in the NHL, in my opinion. I think 87 is probably a bit too low for him. Honestly, I feel like him and Slavin should both be 89s. I think Devin Taves should be an 89 as well, along with Heiskanen in there. So that'd probably round out, I guess, what would that be? My top 6. So the ratings aren't terrible. I think, so far they're probably better than the wingers, but definitely could be better. The fact Theodore's defensive awareness is higher than offensive is also an absolute joke. He should have like a 94 offensive awareness and like an 86 defense awareness, something like that. Yeah, overall, I guess it's not too terrible. It's just, when you really look at the stats, they could be so much better. Now, this next one here, guys, is huge. Look at the right defenseman. No surprises here. Highest rated right defenseman in the game, who's also the highest rated defenseman in the game, period. Cale Makar there. 94 overall. They have him one higher than both Yossi Hedman. Well deserved. I think he's proved that he is the best defenseman in the NHL. Dude is just so good. Also, guys, too, if you look here, he's got 96 speed, so he might be the second fastest player in the game behind McDavid, who's probably going to have like 97 speed if it's the same as last year, which honestly is probably fair. He caught up to McDavid in that playoff series. Like, he is just that fast, that good. X factors here, elite edges, heat seeker, in reverse, C&I, send it, stick him up. Again, I think he really needs to have tape to tape to help him actually produce as he should in the franchise sim. They have him listed there as an offensive defenseman. Now, he's so good defensively, you could make him a two-way, but honestly, I don't mind him being an offensive defenseman who also just happens to be really good defensively, too. You can see there, 96 offensive, 95 defensive. That's crazy. 97 deking, passing 96, 90 poise. Could make that 95, 97 puck control. His shot here is pretty solid. High 80s for accuracy, low 90s power. I feel like they can even have it a bit more accurate. Fighting skill there, 65. So, like I was saying with Quinn Hughes, I think him and Makar added the game the exact same time in NHL 19. And he had the 65 fighting skill back then. They've not touched either of those stats. I remember back then thinking, like, Makar had, 3 inches on him, a bit more weight. doesn't really make a lot of sense. But moving on here, guys, number 2, Adam Fox, 90 overall. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I feel like Fox is underrated here. If McCarr's a 94, I'd probably have Fox a 92. Like, the dude won the Norris Trophy the season before last, and only his second season in the NHL. Really hoping Sider could do that this year. I think, yeah, 92 overall for Fox is what I would give him. And of course, I'd have him at high league potential. By the way, McCarr better have franchise potential. If he doesn't, then, like, I don't know what EA's doing. Looking at Fox's X Factors, elite edges, quick pick, and send it. Okay. 96 offensive awareness for him is crazy. 91 defensive, 93 passing. That could be higher. Let's see here. Defensive awareness 91. I think also could be higher. Like, he's actually very good both offensively and defensively. I'd honestly probably give him, like, 95 offensive, 93 defensive, something like that. Kind of like McCarr, offensive defenseman is also very good defensive side of the game. So these two being 1 and 2, no issues there. But yeah, Fox, I think, too low rated at 90. John Carlson here, number 3, 90 overall. I think it's a bit high. Again, I think it's the same thing I said last year. I would probably have him at 89, maybe 88. Still very good offensively. Play style would make him offensive defenseman as well. You can see there, thunderclap zone ability, all the offensive X factors. Look at his D awareness there, 92, offensive 93. He's got a good shot on him, passing there, 94. Again, really no issues here with Carlson. I would just lower the rating slightly, probably via the defensive awareness and like shot blocking, which I see he's got 90. After him, Charlie McAvoy, 89. I think McAvoy is also too low rated, similar to Adam Fox. I would have him at least a 90, probably a 91, if not a 92, tied with Adam Fox. McAvoy is that good. Obviously, he's not going to put up as many points as John Carlson because he isn't as offensive, but he is one of the best all-around defensemen in the NHL. I think you can ask anyone who knows hockey, they would agree with you. So you can see there, stick him up, zone ability, bunch of X factors. He's got 91 for both offensive and defensive awareness. I feel like you leave the offensive but make the defensive like a 95. Like, he is just that solid. Poise there, 90, that's good to see. Endurance, you could probably bump to 95. Stick checking, you could bump up. I feel like his passing is not too bad. Shot accuracy, maybe make a bit higher. I feel like McAvoy just needs a total overall boost because 89 is way too low for him. And then after him, you guys, you got Alex Pietrangelo here, also 89 overall. So this is a weird one because, like I was saying, I think Shea Theodore should be 89. He's 87. Personally, I'd say Theodore is just as good, if not better than Pietrangelo right now. I feel like some people might argue with that, but that is my opinion. So Pietrangelo being 2 overall higher, I don't know. I think Pietrangelo probably more of an 88. You can see there, 5 X factors, no zone ability. They have him as being like a pretty good all-around defenseman, which, like I said, overall this isn't too bad. I think it's just slightly too high rated. After him, you got Aaron Ekblad, also 89 overall. Ekblad, of course, Florida's number 1 defenseman. Very, very good player. I think, you know, having him is a big reason why they're willing to trade away Mackenzie Weegar. I still feel like that was the wrong move. People were doing Weegar for Kachuk, but time will tell on that one. You can see there, Ekblad, no zone ability, which again is crazy for an 89 defenseman. How do you not give him a zone ability? 6th best right-hand defenseman in the game. I don't understand it, but looking at his stats there, you can see 87 body checking. He's a big boy, so he deserves that. Speaking of, you can see he's got 89 strength here. That's the final stat it's showing. So that means that they have Ekblad being weaker than Roman Josi. Again, like, just by the eye test, I feel like you know that's not the case, let alone if you had them, like, in a gym, seeing who can, like, you know, bench more or whatever. So, yeah, overall, I think Ekblad's rating's actually really good. I would just give him his zone ability and probably bump up both his strength and maybe body checking by a little bit. And after that, you have Drew Doughty here, 89 overall. I think that's still a bit too high for him. Last year, I want to say he was an 88. He did have a decent season last year, but I don't think it was good enough to give him a boost. I think it was good enough to keep him at 88, or maybe have him probably 87. But obviously, it's not too far off. For whatever reason, EA just loves Drew Doughty. And he seems like a good guy. I just feel like he's always a little bit too overrated. And having said that, my rosters, I still would have given him a zone ability, because for me, I think anyone 87 plus deserves one. And you can see here, looking at his stats, he's like a pretty well-rounded defenseman. I feel like he probably should be a bit better offensively than defensively. They have it the other way around. X factors there, all defensive aside from send it. So, yeah, like, he's definitely too high rated, but in terms of, like, how they have the stats, they're not too bad. And then after him, you have Chris Letang here, who's 88 overall. Personally, I feel like Letang's better than Drew Doughty at this point in their career. So I'd probably swap their ratings, honestly. Make Letang 89 and Doughty 88. You guys can see Letang's X factors there. Should be good offensively. 91 passing. I think that could be higher. Offensive defensive awareness there are tied. He's also got a pretty good shot for a defenseman. Let's see. 82 slap shot accuracy, 83 wrist shot accuracy. I feel like those should both be, you know, 85, 86. So that's a bit too low. And also his overall's a bit too low. But again, not too far off. Dougie Hamilton here at number 9, 88 overall. Dougie Hamilton's a very good defenseman. I think 88's probably right on. I think, you know, last year could have been better, but he was injured for a bit, so I don't mind it. Might have had him in 89 personally. Wait a minute. Did I see that? Did I see that right? Dougie Hamilton's 88 overall, and he has no X factors. That or they just completely forgot to include them, which I really hope's the case. Because how can you be an 88 and not have a single X factor? Like, that'd be an absolute joke. Looking at Hamilton's stats here, he's better offensively than defensively, which is good. The dude's like 6'6", so he's got 88 strength, which I think's fine. Could probably be a bit higher, but I'd have the aggressiveness stat lower because I don't think he's like the most aggressive guy out there. That was a big critique of his for a while. They said he was kind of too soft. You can see body checking 85, which makes sense. I think, you know, he could throw the body a bit more. So, yeah, I think Hamilton's stats, they're pretty good aside from the fact no X factors. And then the final guy on this list, I am just so happy to see him here. Moritz Seider, 87 overall, number 10. After his rookie season, is already a top 10 right-hand defenseman in the league. You love that. I would love this time next year to see him in the top 3. Obviously, to do that, he'd have to take out either Fox or McAvoy, which is going to be pretty tough to do. If he has a great season this year, which I'm hoping he does, maybe he can pull it off. They give him send-it zone ability there with stick him up X factor. You can see there he's got 90 body check, 88 strength, 89 offensive awareness, 90 defensive awareness. The stat, like, you know, distribution there isn't too bad. I would definitely just give him more X factors. I feel like a good young player should definitely have them. Same with, like, Raymond, for instance. If they have elite potential, they need to have X factors because they're going to end up being a high 80, and if they don't have one, it'll just kind of ruin the line chemistry. But very, very happy to see Seider on this list, so I'm not going to, like, you know, judge the rating too much. As mentioned, guys, EA released the top 10 fastest defensemen. No surprise, Picard being number 1 there with 96 speed. No one's touching that. Like I said, probably number 2 in the game behind McDavid's 97. Quinn Hughes there, number 2 with 93. Makes a lot of sense. I feel like, you know, Quinn Hughes could even have 94. Fox there, 92. Okay. I don't know if Fox was that fast. I feel like Rangers fans let me know. I probably would have, you know, guessed he's more of a high 80. Samuel Girard there, 92 speed. He's another pretty quick defenseman. You can see the Habs have 3 of the top 10 guys on this list, which is nuts. Morgan Riley there, 91. He's pretty quick for defenseman. Ryan Merkley there, 90. Very fast defenseman. Probably should honestly be like a 92 plus. Bowen Byram, 90 speed. I know is also a fast defenseman. John Klingberg, 90. I'm not sure if he's still that fast. Spurgeon, 90 is a fast defenseman. Heiskanen, 90, and also fast defenseman. So I feel like this list, for the most part, is pretty good. And they also tweeted out another one, guys, which is kind of funny. The top 10 strongest players. So we have a 5-way tie for first with Lucic, Alexiak, Wilson, Ovechkin, and Hedman there, all 93 strength. Personally, if I just had to bet on who's going to bench the most or whatever, I'm probably going with Jamie Alexiak, the dude who's like 6'7" and huge. Maybe Lucic, maybe even Ryan Reeves, who's actually a 92 there. I don't know how he doesn't have 93 strength as well. Ovechkin's really strong. I'm not sure if I'd have him as top 5 strongest player in the game, though. I can see Cassian 92, Draisaitl 92, Malkin 92, and then again, Yossi there with the 92 strength. I like Yossi a lot. I think, you know, good-looking dude, great hockey player. I don't think he's one of the top 10 strongest players in the NHL, though, so that's a strange one to me. But also, guys, EA released the top 10 checkers in the game, but only on Instagram for some reason, so I got it up right now. Radko Gudas at number 1, 94 body checking. I mean, the guy throws like 300 hits a year. He deserves it. Matt Martin, Ryan Reeves, Milan Lucic, they're all 93s. Again, no complaints. Tom Wilson, 92. Terran Janot, 91. Kachuk, 91. Kachuk also hits a ton. Nick Deslauriers, 91. I guess that's what the Flyers are paying him for. Luke Shen, 91. And Cassian, they're also 91. Honestly, of the 4 lists we've looked at, or I guess the 5 lists we looked at, this is probably the best one. Really, no complaints. There's probably somebody I'm like forgetting about that, you know, should be really high body checking too, but looking at the top 10 here, it looks solid. That's going to do, guys, for this video. Again, I think the defenseman ratings were a bit better than the winger ratings, but still some stuff to be worked on for sure. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are on the ratings in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed this one, leave that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the sub button. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.